So, think about what's the holy grail between somebody taking action or not. It's one word: certainty. We all know what happens when you're out of state. When you're burnt out, when you're frustrated, when you're overwhelmed. You snap at people sometimes, feel bad about it. You didn't mean to, it's just the state you're in. So to thrive this year, take uncertainty and bring certainty to it. To thrive this year, get what I call a compelling future. Pick anything, a goal, a dream, a desire, something that excites you so much that you're gonna feel yourself compelled to actually find a way to make it happen. You've done it before. You've gotten obsessed. You don't even know how you did it, but things happen and you got yourself to where you want to be. Let's make that happen this year, right now. Regardless if it's later in the year or the beginning of the year you're watching this, I made this so that hopefully I'd remind you of what you know, that you're made to thrive, not survive. What's the third element that makes somebody an effective leader, makes them a thriver, even when the environment is crazy? Well, they bring certainty to uncertainty. That's leadership skill by focus and physiology. By the way they move, by the way they breathe, by what they do. They bring that certainty because there's something they want so bad that it makes them overcome the fear. They focus on what they want to create, what they want to give, not, oh my God, what if I fail? But the third thing they do is they're decisive. Listen, nothing changes your life like decision. I mean real decision though. Not where people go, well, I'll try, or I kind of decided I want to give this a shot. The word decision comes from incision in Latin, to cut off from. And when you make a decision, you cut off from any possibility except the thing you've committed to. As I always tell people, if you want to take the island, burn the boats. I mean, if you make a real decision, every bit of you is committed to something, it's amazing how life will move for the force of nature of a human being, man or woman, that says this is how it will be. I don't know how I'm going to get it done, but I know this is what I'm going to do. I know why I'm going to do it. As Martin Luther King said, it's any man who hasn't figured out what he's willing to die for isn't fit to live. If you can find something you're so excited about, if you can find something that will drive you with that certainty, and you add to that decisiveness, you can change anything. You don't like your job, change it. Oh, but there's no jobs out there. Bull, right? Change it, start the job, change who you are in the job where you are, and enjoy yourself. Change your perception, change your appreciation, change your gratitude, change your daily rituals so you start to enjoy things. Change what you notice. Change from trying to get something to trying to give something. The whole game will change. Decisiveness is the ability to make a decision even though you're uncertain once again. What keeps people from making a decision? Fear of failure. You think about the first thing that determines whether you can do something or not, and I put that in this first box at the top here on the left side, it's potential. Like, what's the potential of a human being? Like, when you guys started, you proved something no one had done in history. You ran the 4-minute mile, right? For God only knows how many centuries, they're trying to run a 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister does it. How did he do it? Do you remember? You did it in this industry, right? You made $1 million in a day. No one had ever done that in history, right? After you did it, a bunch of other guys are doing it because it became possible. Roger Bannister didn't just go physically practice. He made a shift in his head. He practiced in his head because he could never achieve it physically, so he had to change in his head first so that the result became certain enough he believed it, and then his body got him through. After Roger Bannister ran that 4-minute mile, within 2 years, 37 people ran a 4-minute mile. Wow. When no one in history had ever done it. Now here's how it works. The potential for anybody getting your product is extraordinary. They can do what you've done as much, more or less. They can do whatever they want to do. The potential's there. The market's proven that.
Behind every moment of adversity in your life, there is a blessing and a lesson. Every moment of adversity has those two things. Pain always leaves a gift. Always.
Because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself. You're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. And there's a tremendous amount of liberation that comes when you accept the fact that you're always going to need to give yourself a push.
Complain a lot when I was young because I think Bill Gates took all the opportunities for the Microsoft, the Steve Jobs, all these guys. There's no great big stuff left for us.
And that's the most ironic thing about being a human, is the very thing that you're terrified of doing, actually taking a step into the unknown, taking that step.
Priority is on the root of things, not the leaf or the symptoms. You're not dealing with your challenges at symptomatic level. You're dealing with it at root level. But going to the root of it and learning how to change your breath means you can manage any situation in life.
So what did we have to lose? There was no risk. Some people say, well, you could have gone to college and been a lawyer. But you can go to college and be a lawyer when you're 25. The only thing you really have in your life is time. If you invest that time in yourself, then you can't possibly lose.
And always go to the root. It will take longer, but it will last longer. Always go to the root. Cut down the root of that weed in your heart. Cut down the root of that weed in your mind. Don't just let it grow and kind of water a little bit and snip, cut it a bit. Just really go to the root and just knock it out. Get rid of it. Get a big axe and cut it down.
It's a fact for me, so I continue to do that. I know that anything I can imagine, I can make happen, so I am really careful about how small my thoughts are, because I don't feel like wasting time.
There's a big difference between saving and investing. The whole idea is you take some number each week and you put it to work as an investment. You do it when you're young and you keep doing it throughout your whole life. So when you retire, when you're 65 or so, you've got some serious money in the bank. We know from the past 50 years that the market returns are kind of 6 to 8% over long periods of time. Now, what I'm shocked about is so many of my employees and the companies that I work with, nobody's saving anything. They're not even investing or saving. So I wanted to change that. And in order to do it, I didn't want to make it complicated where you had to buy and sell stocks and bonds. So many people don't want to do that or don't know how to do it. Bean Stocks makes investing really simple. You attach it to your bank account. You decide, I suggest $100 a week. Most people can do that. Evan, you know that. And then it puts it to work in a series of very diversified exchange-traded funds. And those are built so that you can build a very diverse portfolio that just goes to work for you week after week after week after week. You can automate the $100 transfer, or you can decide what and how much you want to do. It doesn't matter. But I tried to make it really simple, because you gotta start now. Because if you do $100 a week and you're only making, $58,000 a year, the average American salary, you'll end up with, hopefully, if the markets do what they do in the last 50 years, you'll end up with something like $1.5 million in the bank, and that's what you can live off.
I've created challenges my whole life to overcome. My emotional fears, fears of rejection, fears of looking bad, fears of being judged. And I'm always thinking of, I try to tell people this, if they want to increase their confidence, write a list, not the shame list, this is the fears list of all the things you're most afraid of. I'm not talking like, I don't know,
an alligator or something.
Yeah,
You're
talking about like the emotional fears.
Sure.
Like I'm afraid of
the deeper
rejection,
stuff.
I'm afraid of like my wife leaving me, I'm afraid of whatever. And so my whole life, I've been afraid emotionally. And at certain stages, I just say I'm sick and tired of feeling this way. So I was always afraid to talk to girls because I would get rejected by them all the time. And I never thought I was interesting as like a kid, as like a young teenager. And one summer I was like, I'm sick and tired of feeling scared every time a girl walks by me. Like, I would just be scared. I was like, I don't want to feel this way. And I gave myself a challenge this whole summer. After I was 16, I gave myself a challenge in the summer. I was like, every time I see a girl, it doesn't matter if I'm attracted, not attracted, I'm gonna go up to her. And I'm gonna have a conversation. Because I was so terrified to do it, I was just like, I need to do it until it doesn't feel scary.
Yeah.
It was the greatest gift I gave myself.
Yeah, desensitize yourself.
Yeah, I was just like, it doesn't matter how many times I get rejected, I still love myself. And it got me just so calm and confident next to a stranger, a man, woman, it didn't matter.
Anybody then.
It got me confident to be able to just like take a risk and say something stupid and silly and goofy and just put myself out there. Someone like smile. And it's just like, wow. At the end of the summer, I was going up to like 20, 40-year-old women at a time in groups and just being like, hey, what's up, lady? You know, just like being like a positive, funny, goofy guy. And like, who cares if...
You recreated yourself there.
I was just like, who cares what they say? Like, I'm never gonna see these people again. But I had so much more confidence, like, I was able to get them to smile. We talked for 10 minutes. Whatever. There was a girl that gave me her phone number. You know, it's like, okay, little wins, but it's like, it helped me to, like, for the rest of my life, be like, man, I can go talk to anyone.
Most of my colleagues in cognitive neuroscience believe that our senses were shaped by natural selection, that we evolved, and that the selection pressures are such that those creatures that saw the world more accurately had a competitive advantage over those who saw less accurately. And so they were more likely to pass on their genes that coded for the accurate perceptions. And so the result is, after thousands of generations, we're the offspring of those who saw the world more accurately. And so we can be pretty confident that when I see tables and chairs and the sun and the moon and so forth, that I'm seeing reality as it is. No one believes we see all of reality, of course. We only see the parts that we need to see. But that the parts that we do see, we're seeing truthfully. And so I've looked at that from the point of view of the mathematics of evolution, the evolutionary game theory. And we can actually run simulations to see what happens, and we can prove theorems. And we've done both. And the bottom line is that the probability, if our senses evolved and were shaped by natural selection, the probability that we see reality as it is zero. And that means not simply that I don't quite see the shape of a chair correctly, or I don't quite see the colors correctly. It's much deeper than that. The problem is that the very language of space and time and physical objects is the wrong language to describe objective reality. You could not frame a true description of the world in that language. It's not possible. So it's not that we get it off a little bit here or there, it's that this whole thing is just the wrong framework for describing reality. So that seems so counterintuitive and so out there that I think a metaphor is needed to help understand how it might be working. And the metaphor I like is the user interface on, the desktop interface on your computer. If you're writing an email, and the icon for that email is blue and rectangular and in the middle of your screen, does that mean that the email itself, the file in your computer, is blue, rectangular, and in the middle of the computer? Well, of course not. Anybody who thought that misunderstands the point of the desktop interface. It's not there to show you the truth in this metaphor. The truth would be the circuits and the voltages and magnetic fields, all that complexity. Most of us don't want to know about that. That's really nasty. If you had to toggle voltages to craft an email, your friends wouldn't hear from you. It's just too hard. So what evolution has done for us is it's evolved us sensory systems: touch, smell, sight, sound, hearing. All these sensory interfaces as a user interface, that the purpose is to hide reality. Completely to hide reality, just like your desktop interface on your computer is there to hide the circuits. You don't want to know about the circuits, and yet it allows you to control the circuits, right? By using icons and dragging them and clicking and so forth. You can control the reality without knowing anything at all about it. And that's what evolution did. Three-dimensional space is your desktop. It's a three-dimensional desktop, not just a two-dimensional desktop. And the icons are three-dimensional, not just flat. They're what we call physical objects. So tables and chairs and spoons and forks, these are icons that evolution has shaped to tell us about fitness payoffs and how to get them. So it's all about fitness. Even space itself is about fitness. The distance between me and an apple 10 meters away versus 10 miles away is telling me that it will cost me fewer calories to get the apple 10 meters away. It'll cost me a lot of calories to get the apple 10 miles away. Probably I should go for the apple that's 10 meters away. So even space itself is representing fitness payoffs and fitness costs. And so evolution, in short, has shaped us with a user interface that hides reality on purpose where purpose is in quotes. Evolution is just a process, but the effect of the process is really to hide reality so that you're not distracted by it, and you can control reality without actually knowing what it is.